The sun had just dipped below the rooftops of Aurora, Colorado, leaving the neighborhood washed in that soft, late summer glow. It was the 28th of August 2013, the kind of evening where nothing feels out of the ordinary. Families were settling in, porch lights flickered on, and the quiet hum of suburbia filled the air. But at 9:30 p.m., that calm shattered. Police scanners buzzed with what sounded like another routine call, a domestic disturbance, maybe a stabbing. Nothing about it hinted at the horror waiting behind the front door of a modest two-story home on South Paris Court. Yet what first responders discovered inside would etch itself into their memories forever. 18-year-old Isabella Guzman lived in that home with her mother, Yunmin Vu, and stepfather, Ryan Hoy. To friends, Isabella was quiet, artistic, a little different, the kind of teen who filled notebook margins with sketches and dreamed of creating something big one day. But inside the home, her relationship with her mother was deteriorating at a frightening pace. Police had already been called to the house multiple times after heated arguments spilled outside. Things worsened as the summer went on. Isabella dropped out of school, ignored house rules, and began posting unsettling messages online. In one email, she reportedly wrote to her mother, "You will pay for what you've done." Earlier that very day, Yunmin reached out to police again, telling them she feared her daughter might hurt her. An officer arrived, spoke with Isabella, and left only after she promised she'd calm down. But by nightfall, the argument had reignited, louder and more violent than before. At 9 p.m., Yunmin texted her husband at work, "Please come home. Bella is threatening me."
This morning she showed me an email that Isabella had written that was written to her, or written to a Cecilia. It's a strange email, but it came to my wife. It came to my wife. And I can't remember what the email said. It's on her phone.
Okay.
But it was very disturbing from Isabella. Something very just weird.
She then called the police for help.
Aurora 911, where is your emergency?
Yes. My daughter needs help.
Do you need police, paramedics, or an ambulance?
Now, I think she has to be admitted because she hurt herself or she hurt somebody else in the house.
Okay, so she's suicidal?
She's 18.
She wants to hurt herself?
She's not suicidal, but she was planning. She can be suicidal, or she can hurt me or somebody else in the house.
So did she threaten to hurt you, or you're worried she might hurt you?
She's planning to hurt me last night.
Okay.
2 in the morning, and I think she snapped. Her mind is gone, I think.
Did she do anything to herself or you yet?
I don't know about that because she locked herself in the room and she came out, and now she's in the backyard talking to her father.
Okay, so she's in the backyard, so she's not bleeding or doesn't need like a emergency as far as medical goes.
No, not the medical. It's a psychological problem.
So does she have any weapons on her right now?
She has a bat, and not with her in her room.
And what's your
I hate to do this. I'm sorry.
What's your name?
My name?
Yes.
My name is Yunmi, Y-U-N-M-I. I'm her mother.
Okay.
Yunmi Hoy, H-O-Y.
Okay, okay?
And I'm afraid tonight she's gonna hurt herself or hurt me.
Okay.
She's losing me and she's stabbering and she's saying nonsense.
Okay, did she say how she's gonna hurt herself?
I don't know.
Okay, has she ever tried to hurt herself before or say she wanted to do this before?
She said many times she wanted to kill herself.
Okay. But she's never attempted it yet, right?
I don't know. She might try, but she never say about it to me.
Okay. Uni, I'm gonna go ahead and
now she's trying. I'm afraid of my life now.
Right. Well, I'm gonna let you go, but if anything changes, I want you to call me back, okay?
So what are you gonna do?
We're gonna send an officer out to talk to her, and then the officer can request an ambulance, okay?
And then what happened?
They'll transfer her to like a psychiatric hospital,
Okay.
and they'll help her out there, okay? I don't want you to get upset. I mean, you're doing the right thing, okay? I don't want you to regret anything later. I mean, if something bad were to happen, you'd regret that worse, okay?
Yeah, I think this is good for her in time.
It was the last message she ever sent. When Ryan Hoy pulled into the driveway around 9:30, the house looked calm, no sign of a struggle. He walked inside, calling out for his wife. No answer. Upstairs, the bathroom light was on, the door closed, and water was running. Then came the sound, dull, repetitive thuds. He knocked once. No response. He pushed the door open and froze. Yun Min Vu was slumped in the corner, her face and chest covered in blood. Standing above her was Isabella holding a kitchen knife, her clothes soaked red. Ryan slammed the door and ran down the hall, calling 911 and screaming for help. As dispatchers sent officers to the scene, Isabella slipped out the back door and disappeared into the night. When police arrived, the sight inside was beyond words. Yun Min had been stabbed more than 150 times, many of the wounds to her face and neck, an act prosecutors later described as rage beyond reason. A bloody baseball bat lay nearby, used before the stabbing began. Paramedics tried to revive her, but it was already too late. A citywide manhunt began immediately. K-9 units followed footprints through backyards and alleys. Helicopters circled overhead. Just before dawn, officers spotted Isabella near a parking garage a few miles away, barefoot, wet from rain, her eyes vacant. When they approached, she didn't run or resist. She simply looked at them and said, "I'm not the one you're looking for." One detective later said she appeared disconnected from reality, like she was watching someone else's story unfold. After she was taken into custody, police photographed faint scratches on her hands, the only physical evidence linking her directly to the struggle. During questioning, Isabella barely spoke. When she did, her voice was flat, emotionless. She told detectives she was guided by voices and that her mother had been possessed by something evil. At times, she looked past the officers, muttering to herself. Police quickly realized this wasn't a case of anger or revenge, it was a full psychotic break. Psychiatric experts were called in within 48 hours. They diagnosed paranoid schizophrenia with severe delusions.
You think some juror sitting on a jury is going to believe that you're not the person we suspect killed their mother when you're caught right down the street with knife injuries to your hand?
Scissors.
It's not scissor injuries.
I told you they were scissors.
It's not scissor injuries.
Yes, it was. You're not going to bully me into admitting what you want me to, pretend
No,
to be.
I suspect we're probably not. I mean, that's a decision you have to make in your own head. I mean, that's the bottom line. You're 18 years of age. You understand why you're here. You know what you've done. We've given you an opportunity to talk about what you've done. We've given you an opportunity to give us a reason why you did what you did. And you've continued on this crazy-ass story that this, you have nothing to do with this, and that story is not believable. We don't
It doesn't
believe
have to be believable. It will be proven.
Court records later revealed that her family had noticed signs for months, long periods of isolation, erratic speech, paranoia that people were watching her. Her father, Robert Guzman, testified that his daughter had been diagnosed with a serious mental illness months before the murder. She had been prescribed antipsychotic medication to manage her hallucinations and paranoia medication meant to keep her thoughts grounded in reality. But around July 2013, just a few weeks before the killing, Isabella refused to keep taking it. Her father said she believed the pills were poison and that they were part of a plot to control her. Without the medication, her symptoms came back fast. She stopped eating with the family, covered mirrors because she said someone was watching, and started talking to herself for hours in her room. The district attorney charged her with first-degree murder, but from the beginning, both sides knew it would never go to a typical trial. After extensive psychological evaluation, Doctors concluded Isabella had been legally insane when she killed her mother, incapable of understanding right from wrong. In November 2014, the court ruled her not guilty by reason of insanity and committed her indefinitely to the Colorado Mental Health Institute at Pueblo.
Just into 7 News, formal murder charges and crime of violence against this woman, Isabella Guzman. She's accused of stabbing her mother 79 times. 7 News reporter Lance Hernandez live now. Lance, the filing of charges was actually delayed today because Guzman wouldn't leave her cell.
Mike, she was due in court this morning, but court officials told us she didn't want to leave her jail cell at the Arapahoe County Detention Center. Isabella Guzman now facing first-degree murder charges. She was charged with first-degree murder after stabbing her mom about 79 times in the face and neck at this house in Aurora. The 18-year-old smirked at the camera as she stood up and walked to the defense table this afternoon, her arms and legs shackled. After the judge read the complaint against her, she looked over, stared at the camera, and motioned to the area under each of her eyes with her index finger. Court documents indicate that Isabella Guzman had a contentious relationship with her mom, and that her mom was concerned enough that she called police on August 28th. They came to the house and told Isabella that her mom could kick her out for her behavior. It seemed to calm her down. But later that evening, after her mom went upstairs to take a shower, Guzman's stepdad heard a thump, ran upstairs, and saw blood oozing out from under the bathroom door. Court documents indicate that he later saw Guzman exit the bathroom with a knife in her hand, staring straight ahead and not saying a word.
The woman sent to the state hospital after killing her mother after stabbing her 79 times could be a step closer to walking free. Isabella Guzman was arrested in 2013, found not guilty by reason of insanity. She was committed to the state hospital, put on medication. Well, last November, we talked with Guzman, who feels her sanity has been restored. A judge ruled that she will be allowed to leave the state hospital for groups and other types of therapy. Guzman will be required to wear a GPS tracker.
Her stepfather, Ryan Hoy, never returned to live in the house. He later told reporters that every sound, even running water, brought flashbacks.
Now, we tried to contact Guzman's stepfather. He wasn't home, a cleaning crew telling us that he may never return to this house. We did find these 2 dumpsters, though, filled with stuffed animals, some jewelry, and other belongings. It's obvious that somebody didn't want this stuff in the house. By the way, Guzman due back in court next Friday. In Aurora, Lance Hernandez, 7 News.
He eventually left Colorado entirely, choosing to stay out of the public eye. Her biological father, however, took the opposite path. Robert Guzman began visiting her regularly at the hospital, saying he believed she could recover with proper treatment. He told reporters outside a 2015 hearing, "Mental illness stole my daughter long before that night." He continues to attend her review hearings alone, often sitting quietly in the front row. For years, Isabella lived under 24-hour supervision. Her days were regimented therapy in the morning, medication checks, supervised meals, and counseling sessions designed to ground her in reality. By 2018, doctors noted measurable progress. She could identify her delusions, express remorse, and understand the consequences of her actions. That progress, however, came at a price: constant scrutiny and public outrage. In 2020, a short video filmed during a monitored hospital interview went viral. In it, Isabella smiled faintly while discussing her recovery.
I was not myself when I did that, and I have since been restored to full health. I was abused at home by my family for many years. My parents are Jehovah's Witnesses, and I left the religion when I was 14, and the abuse at home worsened after I quit. The fight with my mom was terrible, and I was injured in the process. I have the scars on my hands. I don't know if you can see or not. I'm not mentally ill anymore. I'm not a danger to myself or others. If I could change it, or if I could take it back, I would.
Saying Isabella had shown consistent stability for over 5 years. A judge granted limited privileges, short outdoor walks, monitored calls with family, and quarterly mental evaluations. But not everyone agreed. Prosecutors voiced concerns that her recovery depended entirely on medication and structure. Without them, she could relapse. In early 2025, Hospital staff reported a minor psychotic episode triggered by another patient's violent outburst. She told doctors the voices were whispering again. Prosecutors immediately requested a comprehensive risk assessment, pausing any step toward release. That hearing, scheduled for late 2025, will determine whether Isabella can ever live outside the hospital's walls. Robert Guzman says he still believes his daughter isn't beyond redemption, but Yun Min's relatives have made it clear they oppose any move that could see Isabella free. In their words, "You can forgive, but you can never forget." Isabella Guzman's case forces us to face a chilling question. When severe mental illness drives someone to kill, how do we measure accountability? Her story sits in a disturbing gray area where crime and mental health collide, challenging our sense of justice. Guzman's actions were undeniably horrific, yet her psychiatric state raises difficult questions about responsibility, treatment, and whether someone in such a condition can ever be considered fully aware of their actions. Her case blurs the line between punishment and rehabilitation, leaving society to grapple with whether true redemption is possible or if some acts remain forever beyond forgiveness.